With the recent events that we have had here lately, I thought it would be a pretty good time to record a video discussing worrying. You see, too many times today, people get caught up in worrying about things that are quite honestly out of their control. We find it happening more and more here recently, even more times than times in the past, because we look at the situations and the things that are occurring around us, and we find ourselves worrying about our family. We find ourselves worrying about the values of the other people around us. We find ourselves worrying about where we're at as a nation, between the strife between different races, and then we find ourselves coming in contact with people who may have different political views than we do, and we find ourselves in this situation where we spend so much time just worrying. But I wanted to talk to us about worrying just for a minute, because worrying is something that as human beings it's hard to avoid. It's something that we all find ourselves doing it, whether we want to or not. We worry about the things that are going to happen tomorrow. Whether it be something that's work-related, we find ourselves worrying about things that are completely and totally out of our control. I think the main reason people worry is because they have a lack of faith in God. Sadly, many people who proclaim to have faith are the people who find themselves worrying the most. Some of that is because they are genuinely concerned about the things and the people around them, and that's not a bad thing. But some of it is because they forget who is in control. They forget who the creator of the universe is, and they forget who essentially holds all the cards. And that is the Lord, God Almighty. He is in control. Too many times we find ourselves forgetting the one who is in control. You look at Hebrews chapter 11, which is called the Great Faith chapter, and it goes into several different individuals and some of the acts that they did courageously through faith. And one of my favorite personal ones was Abraham and him going to sacrifice Isaac. Even though God was not really going to make him sacrifice Isaac, Abraham did not know that at the time. Abraham was fully willing to do the things that God had put in front of him. Too many times today we see things with blinders on. We put blinders many times on a horse to keep a horse from being able to see to one side or the other. Most of the time that's done to an animal who is real spookish or a fleet animal, because his tendency to look around and things starting to startle him, or him just getting off track. But as human beings, a lot of times we look at things just going through one direction. We see exactly where we're at right now, and we have this idea that there's no way out of the situations that we're in, and we find ourselves worrying about things that are out of our control, when too many times we do not put the power in God's hands. Sadly, but true. Everybody has something that they worry about. Everybody has something that's on their mind. Whether it be the current state that we're in the world today, whether it be something that you're dealing with at home, whether it be something even church-related, we all have things that we worry and we struggle with daily. The real question is, do we put those things in God's hands, or are we trying to do things on our own? See, when we try to do things on our own, we wind up a lot of times making a bigger mess out of something than we would have if we would have just put things in God's hands. Do what you can and leave the rest to God. Sometimes things do not work out the way that we intend. Sometimes, no matter how much you try, no matter how much you struggle, things just are not going right. And that's not uncommon, because as individuals and as people that we deal with, as different as each and every person is, likewise, I'm also different than almost each and every person. And what I'm saying is sometimes people just do not see eye to eye, but the best we can do is to give our all when it comes to spreading the gospel, and to give our all to the people that are around us so they can see the good that we have and leave the rest to God. I hope you're all having a blessed and wonderful day. I know that I am, and I hope everything's fine, and to let everybody know that the baby's doing just fine, and we're still dealing with some of the issues with Allie, but she is getting better, and everything will work out in the end. But I'm just here to tell each and every one of you that remember who's in charge. It's the good Lord, and to put things in His hands. Y'all have a blessed day.